This episode is sponsored by Playing Dreidel, teaching children how to gamble with chocolate money from a young age.
This episode is also brought to you by Holiday Pictionary with your family members that can't draw. That's not an arm flexing, Uncle Gary. That's a dong. This is Sorry for the Wait. Here we go! Fired up, ready to go. Welcome to the show, folks. This is Sorry for the Wait, a weight loss podcast for regular people, by regular people. I am your host, Seth.
And I am your host, Strawberry. And I gotta say, those fake sponsors really paint a picture of some really fucked up holidays
Just
for
some
us.
really awkward holidays. Okay, so just like really quick.
What's with Uncle Gary?
No, like, and thankfully I don't have an Uncle Gary, so
does
it's
he
not
have to
like
stay like away from a
no,
preschool
he
or
doesn't.
something?
It's just my family. Sometimes, man, in the past, like Christmas would just turn into like a game fest towards the end, and there was a good stretch where, like one holiday season, we were playing Pictionary a ton, and you just don't realize like how many people can't draw until you're playing Pictionary like with your family, and like I was being a douche by nature, so like I was just yelling the wrong answer all the time.
Right, naturally.
Yeah, and then like also it's just there are just some things that shouldn't be in Pictionary, like drawing a muscle, you know, like that can't be pictured. I mean, it's very hard unless you are artistically inclined, or a windmill. Yeah, that could be anti-Semitic at some points, you know. You know,
yeah, I didn't even think of that one.
And the only reason why I think of that one is from a scene in Community when they're playing Pictionary and Pierce Hawthorne just is trying to draw a windmill and it does not go well.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
Yeah, just I don't know, Pictionary not my game.
Yeah, I'll go with you right there. I'm also not very artistic.
Yeah, yes, not very artistic, but you know what? You have other gifts.
Yeah,
That's the way I put it. But hey, happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
You know, it's the holiday season,
isn't it?
A doo-doo, a dickory dock. And then is it don't forget to hang up your socks. I think that's it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea
either.
what you're saying. You're just saying a bunch of words.
Christmas
together.
carols, man, they never really did catch on with me, you know, except for Mariah Carey.
Is that
that's
a Christmas
it.
Carol?
Yeah, I think it's one of them. Yeah, that's like the kind of the signs of one.
Oh, I thought you were saying, for some reason, I thought you were saying like hickory dickory dock, the mouse went up the clock.
Oh, no,
like.
no. Oh, you don't remember that Christmas carol? But no, hey, man, it's weird because it doesn't feel like the holidays.
No? Why not?
I don't know. It's just the weirdest holiday season. But you know what? It is our first ever sort of Christmassy, happy belated Hanukkah to you episode.
Oh, thank you.
You know, Mazel. I don't know. Did Hanukkah, when did Hanukkah officially end? Oh, no.
I have no idea, dude.
Oh, your mom's going to be so upset. I can cut this if we need.
No, I just have to double check. What day did it officially begin? It's 8 days from whenever it started.
8 days from whenever it started.
I think it would have been the 10th it started, so it's over.
Oh man, I didn't even mean to blast you there, but
it's okay. Now everyone knows how shitty a Jew I am.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, to all those who are celebrating, Merry Christmas. But hey, just all encompassing. Heavy holidays.
Heavy holidays.
I like heavy holidays, you know, sort of like a spooky sweets. But you know what? Just in honor of heavy holidays, we've got a Breaking Foods. We do have a special holiday, Breaking Foods. And this one is holiday themed. We did get one sent to us by loyal listener Logan, which we will shout out, that the Wawa drive-thru in New Jersey has opened. So that is a good one. It's not.
Wouldn't that have been revolutionary?
Yeah, I know.
It came a couple years sooner.
That would have ruined us at camp. But that's not the Breaking Foods that I want to get into.
Okay, what's the Breaking Foods? Because I don't even know what's coming here.
So I found out about this. I think it's been around for at least a month now. But
so it's not breaking.
It's breaking
it's
to
just
me,
foods.
and I think it's breaking to most of our listeners. Honestly,
Okay.
Is that KFC is selling a Yuletide log that smells like fried chicken.
Oh,
yeah. In the weirdest category of things that nobody asked for.
Can I ask a question? What's a Yuletide log?
So like a Yuletide log is essentially just firewood. Like,
Oh,
it's just
gotcha.
Yeah, it's just another way for most people to just give fancy names to very rudimentary, ordinary things. But
I guess this goes back to that, like, what was it? The candles, the Burger King candles.
Yeah.
That, like
the Big Mac candles, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Yeah.
Like who was asking for this?
Who? And if you're buying a KFC Yuletide log, what kind of pain are you trying to dose yourself out that you're not just going to go get KFC?
When you said you started talking about KFC, I thought they were coming out with some sort of special holiday promotion.
Yeah, I wish.
Like, ooh, a holiday flavored. How are they going to get a holiday flavor into the chicken? But I was like, pause the video. I'll be right back.
Right, and you know how they always come out with these things that they're like smells like, you know what I mean, or hints of smells like. Who needs smells like fried chicken?
Also,
unless there is fried chicken present.
Thank you, because to me, like, look, I'm a fried chicken guy. I like
Love
some
it.
fried chicken.
Give me some.
But like, if you're smelling fried chicken, you want to eat fried chicken,
right?
But if you're not, like, you don't have fried chicken to eat because you need the smell. If
right.
you had the fried chicken, you wouldn't need to get the Yuletide log to get the smell. So I guess it's just like, what's the market here?
Right. These scented promotions are almost like microdosing for us bigs, you know? Like it's like microdosing for fats. Like,
do you think they just like see that like there's a trend of like candles and incense are selling really well, so they're like, yeah, somebody's gonna buy this shit,
right? Like, or just like there's nothing romantic about it. Like,
I want to see like the analytics on this of like how much money they spend on the rollout of these Yuletide logs and how much money they make off of them.
Right.
And honestly, if they make a profit, I feel like that
then
just
you
says
can't
a lot
argue
about,
with it.
I think it just says more about us as a society.
That they're just kind of being like, well, you know what, we're going to get them here. It's not going to make us a lot.
Literally put out anything if people would buy it.
Yeah, if it goes cash positive, that's really all they care about. But man, I couldn't bring myself to be like at the cashier, like at the checkout, and they scan that and they take a look at it and look at me and they go, who hurt you? Like,
maybe that's just like an awesome Secret Santa gift to get, is just like get that mixed with like the McDonald's candles and like whatever else, like weird shit like that.
Yeah,
and then be like, here you go. Right. Happy holidays.
It's
Secret
just
Santa.
It's definitely an ultimate gag gift. But you know what? Let's just get right into it. This isn't a gag gift, folks. You know it and you love it. It's
the Craving of the Week.
Craving of the Week. Why not? Heavy
Craving
holidays
of the week.
It's not necessarily a heavy holidays edition because mine's a little out there, but you know what? I think I can maybe relate it to the holidays.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you go first?
So obviously, hey folks, stop me if you've heard this one before.
Stop.
Unprecedented times.
In these trying times.
Take it from us, aspiring podcasters. It's unprecedented times, but it's weird because the holidays are so different this year, obviously.
As long as they're not unprecedented.
Ha hey-o.
I meant to make like a present joke,
yeah,
but I think
did.
I made like a president
joke.
I
know. People are going to think. It almost hit. It almost hit.
I immediately realized it did not have the meaning I intended.
But regardless, many people aren't flying. There are still a lot of people flying, which we have bones to pick with, but we're not going to get into that. But regardless, is that more people are driving for the holidays this year, which is right. It's a safer move. I mean, the safest move is to stay home and socially distant. We know that's tough, but more people are driving. And you know what? If you're going to pick between flying and driving, I get it. Mm-hmm. You're going to drive. But you know what? You know what I always loved that I wish never went out of style with driving? Fuzzy dice in the rear view.
Oh, okay.
I always loved me some hanging fuzzy dice. It just kind of showed like, yeah, I'm cool. You know, that's a cool factor kind of thing.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Like, I know I have a pair of fuzzy dice that don't hang in my car, but they hang like right over there.
And I think I have a pair of fuzzy handcuffs lying around, but don't ask me what those are for. And
oh, don't worry, I know what those are for.
But the thing is that I was always a big fan of the fuzzy dice in the rear view, and those went out of style. But with so many people driving for the holidays, let's try and maximize and make our road snacks a little cooler, you know?
Okay.
So for my craving of the week, my heavy holidays craving of the week for all of those folks who are driving around is I want fuzzy dice. They're not fuzzy though.
Okay, that was going to be like my not only my number one question, that might have been my only question.
It's just sans fuzz.
Like, please don't tell me that whatever this dice is made out of, it is not fuzzy.
It's not fuzzy, okay? But I want basically in the form of what looks like oversized fuzzy dice hanging from my rear view, one meat cube, one cheese cube. You know what I mean? So it's almost just kind of like hybrid charcuterie, but I want one meat cube, one cheese cube. I'm just grabbing, I'm noshing, I'm hanging them back up, and like it's almost like cured hanging meats and cheeses. Like those things stay at room temperature all the time.
Right. And especially now with the cold weather out there, like it'll stay for a while.
Yeah, I think that this actually has the kind of longevity that you're looking for in the wintertime.
Now, be honest, are you thinking of this just because you've been eating a charcuterie board for the last couple of days?
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah, it is true because I got like one from Walmart and I was just like, man, what a great idea this was. And
honestly, I'm impressed that it's lasted more than like 6 hours because I think that's like the runtime that I would give myself with a charcuterie board.
Yeah, no, and honestly, it was a delightful snack and sometimes a delightful meal every now and again. But I do like the aspect of having the thing with charcuterie boards is that for us big guys, those portions be small.
They do be small.
You know, they do be small. So give me a pair of dice. Give me a meat and cheese cube dice that I can hang in my rear view, and I'm just taking big man bites right out of that. And that's where I'm at as a human being right now, is that I'm just looking to take monster bites out of cubes of meat and cheese.
Hey, it's road food.
It's road food, baby. And I think for anyone who's driving on the holidays and your kids are like, are we there yet? Shut up. Have some meat and cheese. And then you're hanging those dice back up. The only thing is that you're going to need to have sort of like a travel case of backup meat and cheese dice.
Yeah, those aren't exactly, you eat one, what are you going to do? Especially like you kind of need them to hang.
Right.
So you need one on each. So
Yeah,
you have to kind of eat them together.
Yeah, you almost have to take simultaneous like symmetrical bites so that it doesn't like outweigh the other.
Right.
So
otherwise you have this whole like balancing act.
yeah, you're doing like this mental,
while you're driving.
this mental chewing math while you're going 85 on I-95. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm really.
They should slow down on I-95 because that's a little fast.
I know, but you know me. I'm not driving.
You're a speed demon.
I'm not driving that fast. But what are you craving this week?
So it snowed last week.
It did indeed. We got a good amount of it.
And you know what it made me think of? What would be the most fun to imagine outside if it wasn't for snow? Like what would be a great replacement for snow right now? Something maybe a little less cold, but still has that nice like white visage that
gives you the scenery
fluffy,
still.
that fluffy, like you can throw. I'm gonna spoil it for you right now. I want a marshmallow blizzard.
Ooh.
I want
full on snow mallow blizzard.
Full on, because let me tell you something. Those snowball fights, so fun.
Yeah.
Like somebody throws a snowball at you. I almost imagine it like dodgeball, where instead of like trying to catch it with your hands, though, you try to like just catch it right in your mouth. And
Yeah,
like,
and just
it's my snowball now.
Just absorb it. There's so much marshmallow that it gets so messy though. Like you have to go
Frosty the Marshmallow Man.
Like you have to go out there in clothes that you know you're going to probably have to incinerate afterwards.
Oh, probably,
like,
for sure.
You're never getting out of that.
But hey, you know what? Then it comes time at the end of the night. You want to know what? You want your stuff to melt so that you can, get in your car and you can zoom out to work the next day. You know what you got to do? You got to go out and toast some marshmallows.
Yeah, and then use your graham cracker shovel and just be like, yeah, no.
Some chocolate drizzle.
Yeah, exactly. I do think that there's, you know what? We don't incorporate marshmallow enough.
We don't. Marshmallows need to be like one of the core food groups.
Yeah, and it's weird because I used to get freaked out a little bit by marshmallows because, like, what is it? You know what I mean? Like,
I was just having this conversation today with a student of mine because they put in the chat in our Zoom meeting of like guess what candy I'm eating. And then somebody like they kept guessing, and then they were like, no, it's marshmallow. And even I had to like take a time out from the lesson and be like, whoa. Marshmallow is not candy. But maybe that's a dinner debate. I don't know.
Yeah, it very well could be, because marshmallows, like, I don't mind them. I especially love them in my hot chocolate. Don't get me wrong, but never have I taken time to be like, what are you?
I think that's like a hot dog you don't want to know.
I've never questioned it. But
it's probably like some weird kind of like pig foot paste thing or something.
But then here's the thing that blew my mind even more about marshmallows is that I found out that there are vegan marshmallows, which, if you want to talk about throwing my mind for a loop, the fact that I even needed to know that there needed to be a vegan version.
Right, that they're not vegan.
Of
well, like I said, I think it might be like pig foot gelatin.
Exactly. That I'm like, what animal ended up in this place? Because that's a terrible form of reincarnation, my dude. But hey, you know what? I would like to think that your marshmallow blizzard is animal free.
Yeah.
We're not trying to have animal rain from the sky.
Exactly. I mean, unless that would, improve the quality of it. Sometimes the vegan stuff just doesn't cut it.
You know what? I'm with you. I agree with that. But you know what? That's another.
And I say that as somebody who goes meatless a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that is you. Actually, I would say that the majority of your diet now is meatless. But you know what, folks? That's another craving of the week. As always, if you want to submit to us, SFTWSubmissions@gmail.com. Send us your cravings. send us your dreams as well. But we are going to head into a very special Heavy Holidays edition of Breddit Butter.
All right. So are you ready for this, Seth?
Of course I am.
Let me ask you something. What is the most fucked up or embarrassing Christmas gift you ever received? Because that's the Reddit thread we're diving into.
Oh,
here.
I love this. This makes me so happy because it's funny. I don't have many that are actually embarrassing. You know what's always embarrassing, even though I always really appreciated it, was like getting toothpaste and deodorant. But like it is a bad look.
I gotta say, I was not prepared for my first Christmas with your family.
Yeah.
You know, growing up Jewish, not really getting the whole like stocking stuffers idea. Like your family, like they were so nice. They made a stocking for me because
you did
it was
have
like
your
my
own
first
stocking.
like Christmas. It was my own stocking, and I was like, I didn't know what goes in stockings,
Right.
except that like candy makes sense to me, but anything other than that. And then like there was like a toothbrush in there. There was deodorant.
Yeah,
there was soap. There was poo-pourri.
Yeah.
Which like I just kind of was like, do you tell your parents that I smell a lot? Like,
Yeah,
what's going on here?
And
like,
anyone
are you
who
trying to tell me something?
If you wouldn't know my family, like that's what like we make stockings just like kind of funny in the essentials kind of way. Like that's not how most people do it. Like we just kind of fell into this weird routine where like you get all of your toiletries and like essentials and then some candy.
I
like,
love it though, honestly, because I kind of like the soap that came in that one. I remember that soap specifically because I like had it on the side and I kind of forgot about it until we moved.
Right.
And then that's now the soap I'm using now.
Oh,
It's
hey-o.
still
So-
Christmas soap from last year. So
Yeah, that's good to know.
just in time for new Christmas.
But like that's kind of embarrassing a little bit from the outset. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
because then you get that and you're just kind of like, well, somebody's sending a really warm and fuzzy holiday message.
Right. I didn't really
Like-
get the heads up ahead of time, which I think is more of a you issue than a
But that one's on me. But what's Reddit got to say? What say Reddit about some very embarrassing holiday gifts?
All right. So on the first one, I think this was just kind of funny. I mentioned to my uncle one year that I wished I could grow a beard like his. Come Christmas time, he hands me the present he got me. I unwrap it, and what do you know? It's his beard in a Ziploc.
With like
That's a 10 out of 10 uncle joke, and it has the strawberry seal of approval.
yeah. Does
there.
it come with like a bottle of Elmer's glue to like
No, you gotta
paste to your?
you gotta get
face,
your own
dude?
glue.
Oh, that's very funny.
Maybe that's a stocking stuffer.
That was also actually just a little tangent. That was also kind of an embarrassing one for me. One Christmas.
beard?
No, one Christmas, like getting my first shaving kit. And like I was kind of in that mode of like like I don't want people to know that like I'm gonna be shaving, but like I was super.
embarrassing. I'm gonna have facial hair.
Yeah, it's weird. And
Like
now
all
I can't.
12-year-olds get.
And then I can't imagine now not having my beard. That's a good one though. I like that.
I like this one. A gift card to a lingerie store for my grandma. The fucked up part wasn't the gift itself, but the fact that she made my poor 19-year-old brother go in and buy it. As he told it, the conversation went something like this. Cashier, shopping for your girlfriend? Brother, no, my sister. My grandma.
Oh no! Oh, poor kid.
Oof.
Man, and I hope he got a gift card for some therapy too after that. That is
Honestly,
rough.
that's one of the times where lying is absolutely called for.
Yep.
Like, don't tell the truth in that situation.
It's completely justified there.
Could you imagine being the worker though?
Right.
And a guy comes in and is like, "Oh yeah, I'm buying this for my sister. I mean, my grandmother."
Yeah, you kind of have to brush that off, but you also have to like hang on to it for the rest of your life because that employee had the best story to tell that holiday season.
Honestly, I kind of want to hear more stories from like anybody out there who's worked at like Victoria's Secret or like anywhere where they've sold like lingerie.
Yeah,
Like,
I just
what's
for
your
us,
most fucked up story on that?
we just need some good stories there. I also actually have like another messed up one.
Oh, do you?
This one's like from my childhood though. And and it's not necessarily embarrassing. It's just kind of like it's just messed up. And my sister knows this one. Like my sister got me a lump of coal once. Like,
oh, really?
Like she straight up got me an actual lump of coal once, and I remember opening it and thinking that like I was like when a kid opens actual coal, you think you're going straight to hell. Like
honestly,
you
like
think
if
that you've done something very
if
wrong.
I had a kid, I would absolutely get them coal just to fuck with them a little bit, and like of course it would be like the kind of thing where like if you're buying your kid like a PS5 for Christmas, you give them the
Right.
coal first to make them like
you
"Wait,
draw
what?"
them in, yeah,
and then like once they're really dejected, then you're like, no, I'm just kidding. Go play Fallout 6.
yeah.
whatever.
Like I want to know if any parents have truly gotten their kids coal and nothing else. You know what I mean?
I mean, if they were really testing my last nerve, maybe.
Yeah, that's a really tough call to make because
That's like a John Mulaney. John Mulaney's dad, like go to the McDonald's drive-thru and order one black coffee, kind of
right, yeah,
stone cold.
So like just a stoic killer, I guess. But like there is some sort of call that you have to make that's going to have lasting ramifications if you give your kid actual call. Are there any other good ones though?
So the last one, still in the underwear from grandma category.
Oh Jesus, too many.
My
It's
grandma
too many.
My grandma gave me bright red undies with googly eyes on them and an extra piece of black cloth to put your dick inside as the nose.
Oh no.
The worst part, I'm a girl.
Oh man. Aw, that's rough. I think it's super funny. Did you ever have like in school, and I don't know if maybe like because you grew up on Long Island, was there a very strong like Jewish community around you when you grew up? Okay, and I figured as much.
I think that like in my school, I would say there were probably more people who celebrated Hanukkah than Christmas.
Okay, and I would
at a public school.
I expected that, and so I don't know if this ever would have been the case like for you growing up in elementary school, but we used to have like Santa's workshop at our school where like the kids could go and like buy. They were like cheap gifts, like, you know what I mean? It was almost like the book fair, but like little trinkets and stuff. And kids could go do like their quote Christmas shopping for their parents.
I don't remember ever having anything like that.
And so we used to have that in elementary school. And I remember like going in and like it would be like all this like cheap kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like sort of trinkets and doodads, if you will. But I'll never forget like my mother was like working as a volunteer one time. And I don't know why this sticks in my mind, but this kid, he like goes up and he has like what looks like kind of just like a regular ring like in his hands, like, and it's got like the cardboard, like whatever packaging on it. And he's like handing it to my mom. He's like, I think I want to get this for my grandmother. And my mom's like, well, yeah, that's really nice. And then she takes a look at it and she's like, well, are you sure your grandmother would like this? It's a toe ring. And of course, like, I mean, we're young kids. Like, we don't know any
why
better.
doesn't grandma want a toe ring?
Yeah, like, we just see whatever. You know what I mean? You see what looks like a ring. You're like, yeah, I'm sure grandma will like this. And my mom had to kind of be like, well, do you think your grandmother would like a toe ring? And the kid was like, yeah, I think so. And I ended up getting it. But, like, there's something to be said for embarrassing Christmas gifts. I think there's it's sort of a rite of passage, I think, to get some.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't really ever gotten too many embarrassing Christmas gifts, but I will say that I did have an embarrassing moment trying to get my mom a Christmas gift.
Oh, please do tell.
Or maybe it was like a birthday gift or something, but I was, I don't know, 7, 8, 9?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe a little bit older than that, but there was a Rite Aid that was literally 2 blocks away from the house.
Right.
I tried to take a 5-finger discount to get my mommy a present.
Oh, hell yeah.
And they called my mommy.
Oh, grand larceny.
They did not like that.
Really? You got caught?
We did.
What were you trying to take? Do you remember?
Honestly, I don't even know, but my mom will probably text me as soon as the episode goes live to remind me everything about that story and all the parts I got wrong.
Sticky fingers, Barry.
Yeah, no, it was like the first and last time because my mom was not happy.
Yeah,
with me.
It was like a Beyond Scared Straight episode.
Yeah, I remember after that moment, I was like, okay, I can never do that.
I will
again.
never steal again.
Or I've just got to be better at not getting caught.
Or just don't get caught. And you did not take the Danny Ocean path.
I'll tell you right now, I've never gotten caught.
Well, yeah. So therefore, you can say that you haven't stolen since.
Yeah.
That's true. Wow. But you know what? You did it in the name of holiday presents.
Exactly. And who can really be mad if I was just trying to get somebody something? I was a kid. I didn't have the money.
I think you were just a younger Robin Hood, if you will.
Exactly.
You know?
Steal from the wealthy corporations like Rite Aid.
Yeah. Damn you, Rite Aid. You have enough money. But that's a breaded and butter. That's a heavy holidays, breaded and butter. I really enjoyed people's underwear stories and how scarred
honestly
they are
I
for life.
wasn't expecting so many underwear stories.
So much underwear.
But I guess in terms of like embarrassing gifts, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, and so I figured it's just only right to kind of transition. We're playing a little fast and loose with this episode because we're down to our final 2 episodes of 2020, which is kind of insane, obviously, since we launched in June, but we're just going to get right into heavy holidays and just kind of, let's just chop it up a little bit. We've got a couple little fun tidbits here, but just to kind of get in on the weight loss during the holidays. We talked about it during Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of people are expecting us to say a lot of the same stuff, from Thanksgiving in terms of like the big meal, the celebration.
Like all of this stuff from Thanksgiving still kind of stands.
It still does apply, but you know what I honestly think is like one of the biggest like obstacles for people on a weight loss journey during Christmas time? It is the candy. It is the stocking candy.
I was gonna say, I feel like there's so much more candy than you really like budget mentally. Like Halloween even. Like maybe there's more candy on Halloween, but like going
Yeah,
into
you know
it's Halloween,
that it's all about
candy.
candy. So like you almost taper your own expectations there. Christmas, you'd be surprised at just how much candy you are flooded with.
I'll tell you, I've already eaten, I feel like, a lot of candy this holiday season in the past like week and a half, just because it's like been offered to me there.
Right. And it just seems like such a natural thing to give, because it's never the main thing. It's always the in addition thing.
Right. And it's an easy like, oh, you know what? Everybody likes chocolate. I'll just stick some Lindor chocolates into this person's like little gift.
And you have just so much of it all around you. And it's just tough because especially like on a Christmas Day type of thing, like or a Christmas Eve kind of night, it's all you have in your hands just snacking on throughout the entire night. You are ruining your stomach like
right.
the night before Christmas and doing all this stuff. And then you have hot chocolate on top of it. But let's not dismiss just quite possibly the most poisonous yet most delicious drink on this planet is
eggnog.
Getting some nog, dude.
Eggnog.
Man, your boys, the big guys, love that nog.
Honestly, I never had eggnog until like I was an adult.
Yeah, and thankfully,
but man,
that's
that good.
That's honestly really, you probably saved a couple of years on your life.
Right.
There is something about that thick eggnog that really kind of just it almost like it sticks to your body
maybe that's
as
why,
it goes down.
Maybe that's why it doesn't feel like Christmas. I haven't had any eggnog.
We haven't had one sip of eggnog this holiday season, and it's
honestly
for the
we
best.
Can keep this way.
Yeah, we really can. That's kind of the weird part about like this whole heavy holidays, I guess, holiday season, is that it does feel extremely odd. You know how everyone's always like, they play too much Christmas music already in the stores or doing all this, like everywhere you
like
go.
We don't go to
Christmas.
the stores now, so I don't even know what they're playing.
Exactly. Well, like I always just kind of was like used to be annoyed by those things whenever you'd go out and it would just be constant kind of like holiday music and Christmas carols, even when it came too early. Since I haven't really been around it, it has just felt like just winter.
Right.
It's just super weird. Like, and it's odd, I think, for so many other people. But I don't know if this is necessarily, I know it's tough, like it's not what you want, but do you think it's been a little bit of a strength for us too?
I think that like it comes with its pros and its cons. I think purely from a weight loss perspective and from like a health conscious perspective, I think the fact that these holidays are the least holiday-y holidays of all time has kind of worked to our benefit, because we haven't really had to deal with like all of the issues surrounding
and the pressures of it too.
Yeah. And like our Thanksgiving was very low key in the apartment, and our Christmas is going to be very much the same.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of sucks on other aspects, but on just purely looking at like our health things, like it's kind of just consistent with what we just do every day.
Right.
Which is a good thing. But like it kind of sucks that like we don't get Christmas stuff. I vote that we move Christmas to like June 25th now.
Well, why don't we just do like, you know how everyone always says Christmas in July? Like, why not? Well, we could move it to just July.
I mean, could.
But you want it June 25th?
Well, I was just thinking like 6 months.
Oh, just like an actual 6 months, just right on the dot.
Well, and I feel like at the end of the school year, it'll feel like really like it's like Christmas time.
See,
like you're on Christmas vacation.
It's super funny for you as a teacher with a teacher mindset, because like you're going to be off this whole next week, and I took time off work too. But like me and stupid dumbass corporate mind, I just kept thinking like, well, no, that's just too close to 4th of July. I want to space that out. I want to put that in like just to get more time off from work. And that's another thing I honestly think that is so much to do with the holidays and taking off time from work, is that I think a lot of people are going to be taking off time in this next week. Christmas falls on a Thursday, Friday. This is coming out on Wednesday. Christmas Eve tomorrow, Christmas Friday. And then the following week, New Year's Eve Thursday, New Year's Day Friday. And so I think there's going to be a lot of people taking off that stretch
of like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right. And I think that there's going to be like a lot of time off going around. And the biggest thing right now, I made a note of this. Start using all the fitness gear that you get as soon as possible, because if you keep waiting and you're just like, well, wait till New Year's. No, it's
get
still
the momentum under you now while it's still due
while
years,
it's still due years. Use all of the fitness gear you get as soon as possible, so that way it's not just sitting there collecting dust and you're establishing some sort of a routine with it. I think that has to be a huge thing, because I've gotten fitness stuff like in the past where I'm just like, oh man, I can't wait to use this. And then like all the time off that
I can't wait to use this, but I'll definitely wait.
Yeah.
I can wait.
I can wait.
I am waiting. One of these days I might use it.
Right. Because you just think, you're like, oh, well, once I get going again. It's like starting up.
Man, once you start me,
Yeah.
you won't be able to stop me.
Once I start my body car in this -4-degree weather that is my life, like just fuck you. And so I do think that that's very, very important because I think I'm going to get some fitness gear stuff. You know,
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I got a good inside.
We got to figure out where we're going to put it then.
I got an inside route with Santa Claus of potentially some stuff that I think I might be getting. But I think that the most important thing that this holiday season at least is teaching me is that no matter the distance, like it's still very much about being thankful. It's still very much about being with the people, whether it's virtually or physically, just being close. And after kind of a year like this, to still try and find ways to appreciate it and understand that, you know, it's really about the love more so than all the shit that comes with it.
Yeah, I don't know if I even said this after Thanksgiving in our episode a couple weeks ago, but you know, my family did the whole like Thanksgiving Zoom,
Right.
technically Google Meet thing. And it, you know, as weird as it is to not have the whole family together, it was also interesting because we had more of the family together than ever before.
Isn't that odd?
Because
yeah,
instead of it just being like those of us who were in the same state, it was like,
It's-
it could be like Massachusetts, New York,
Right.
Florida, Georgia.
it can have everybody involved in it, and it does make for some at least good intimate conversation of like everybody's focused. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's not like we are all in the same room, but everybody's at like a different focus level. Because we did the same thing too, where we jumped on a Facebook portal call, and it was weird because like it was new, it was different, but like everybody was locked in and dialed in during
And-
that time, and you appreciate that.
Yeah, and I also think that like there's some sort of like artificial like shortness to it where, you know, as much as you love your family, I mean, and maybe this was me speaking about my family, but you know, the family, that group of people for, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours.
Right.
You start to get like, okay, you know what? I'm all set with this.
Yeah,
person.
I'm done.
I'm like ready to. I'm ready to like just like slowly back out.
I'm
And
head out.
I don't want to be the Grinch, but like
I filled my quota.
you know, but like with the Zoom one, it's kind of like everybody's kind of on that same page of like we're on the computer, we're talking to each other, we're having a good time, and then like when it's time to go, everybody's kind of like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's
And
it's a good page
Yeah.
ender. I think that,
Nobody has to be that like first person to leave and then, you know, have to deal with that awkwardness.
right, and I'm not going to sit here and act like there isn't a double-edged sword of where food comes into play with this holiday season. You know what I mean? Because even though for people like us, not being part of the big gathering has sort of been a positive for us, it can easily shift the other way. Like it can be like the I'm home alone, and some people are not feeling their best selves right now. And that isn't lost on us because we've been in a little bit of a funk, you know, especially these past couple of weeks too.
You know, I'll just like speaking for myself, you know, there is something to, you know, when you wake up before the sun rises, you go to work before the sun rises, you work while the sun is out, and then you come home when the sun is down.
Right.
And you just kind of feel like beat down and exhausted. And you're just like, even when you're not having like a bad day and there's nothing going wrong,
Right.
you know, it just has this like overwhelming, like lethargic kind of feeling.
And then pair that with the holidays.
Yeah, and especially, you know, a lot of people who thrive off of like the interpersonal like holiday feeling, like this has got to be it. Like this sucks.
Yeah,
like,
no.
everything about it sucks.
Right, and it absolutely does, and I think that one of our, especially for people like us, one of the first things we do reach for to fill that void is anything that's high calorie.
Oh yeah,
Like there is.
I would eat a
We
freaking
do-
Yuletide log just because it smells like fried chicken.
And just man, God, what pain that would be. But I do think that there's a way not to hack the holidays, because I never want anyone to hack the holidays. You know what I mean, or compromise.
Yeah,
on the
especially too
holidays.
soon.
Right. Yes, of course. But what I would want people to do is just we struggle with this just as much, of trying to find the balance of still being able to enjoy these things while also making sure that we don't go overboard. Are we perfect at it? Absolutely not. Like we're not, but it's sort of just taking the cards that you're dealt.
Well, and I think that even like, you know, we spoke to this last week that we kind of had to cut the takeout out because we had kind of like dipped our toes back into that DoorDash life.
We did.
And, you know, I think a big part of it was that a seasonal effect, it makes it kind of like harder to be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to make all the right choices for myself.
Right.
And also it's just like the laziness and all of that. This week we did pretty good on it.
And honestly, I don't know about you,
We
but
didn't
you
have
felt
any-
much better about it. I
Absolutely.
felt significantly better the fact that we did not touch takeout once this past week. And that felt really good, because that's kind of like another win.
Honestly, I think it's like good to go out of there and try to like if you don't have any wins under your belt, go make your own wins.
Right.
Give yourself something like that where it was like, okay, we're done to takeout. Like we're gonna go this week without takeout.
Right. And
we just did it.
And honestly, we went through it, and I think as we like come into the holidays, we're starting to look for more things to be happier about. And you know what honestly makes me really happy? Is getting a surprise Hey Big Guys.
Whoa.
Ooh, we've got a surprise Hey Big Guys in honor of Heavy Holidays. And so, folks, coming at you, Hey Big Guys, I'm going to be spending time with family over the holidays, and among them are some cousins much younger than me that love playing hide and seek. The problem as a thick 2C's boy is that there aren't many good spots for us when we're hiding. I can't shove myself into tight spaces, or really any space for that matter. How do I use my beef to my advantage? Is that possible? What say you? Happy holidays, big guys. That's from Hide and Sleek.
All right, Hide and Sleek. First of all, I got to really thank you out there for sending me down a nostalgia trip, because I remember, shout out to Adam and Matt and Zach when my family would get together. We would play hide and seek in my grandparents' house all the time. For like
hours.
And they had like so many good hiding spots in their house. But I will also, as the thick with 2C's boy,
right? I
had a very hard time, and I was also kind of lazy and didn't really want to like crawl into these different places.
This definitely unlocked something for me.
I would often hide behind doors.
Yeah,
which is honestly like that's a bad place to hide if you're not thick.
Yeah.
But when you are thick, it's like, wait a second, this door is kind of like
slightly ajar.
It's slightly ajar, and when I push it, oh, what's that? I hear him grunt.
Yeah, you take a deep breath and like the just the very surface of your stomach is pushing the door a little bit more with each deep breath. But this is tough. I mean, I used to play hide and seek around the holidays like all the time. Like that's just a very fun kid game, and you would always have like the small kids that could fit in the dryer, which was super unsafe. But like there were so many. I mean, what can we recommend for good hiding spots? What I would think, if you're really trying to go all in, just replace your whole Christmas tree. Just become your Christmas tree.
Yeah, they'll never see it coming.
Yeah, they'll never see it coming. And honestly, if you don't move, they can't see you. They're kids. They're idiots.
I remember that my grandparents, we didn't call this when I was a kid, but when I got older, I called it this. They had an Anne Frank room.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is just this small little room. They like filled it with like old luggage and stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was just like this like hidden room that didn't even look like a room. It had like a door that you could just like push open.
Right.
And you had to like bend over just to get inside. That was a great hiding spot.
So naturally, in the spirit of your faith, you were just like, I'm just going to call this an Anne Frank room.
I called it that once. I forget who I said that to, but they laughed a lot. So I was like, that's what I'm calling it in my head now from now on.
Hey, if a bit hits, you keep it.
Yeah, you gotta. So that was like, if you have an Anne Frank room, I mean, hey, it worked for her for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I guess it.
I don't even feel proud about that.
You can make that joke. I don't know if I can make that.
I don't know. Just wait until the texts come in.
But I do think that there's something to be said here for a holiday hide and seek. I'm trying to think of ways that you can hide in, like maybe you try and become like a Christmas ham. Maybe you just kind of lay. I'm trying to think. I know that I'm trying to think that this person can transmorph themselves.
I was going to say, like, what kind of contortionist are you thinking that this person is?
The hide and seek sucks for big people, dude. Like, it is such a shitty game.
I guess it's also kind of like hit and miss, because it's like, we don't know what your place looks like.
Well, that's true, honestly.
Like, I can think of like a dozen of really good hiding spots at my grandparents' house, but that's because that was a
And let's be
dope
honest,
house.
if you're sending us a hey big guys, you're sending us for bad advice, and
Oh,
so that's
yeah.
what you're getting, my dude. But
have you thought about lying down underneath the rug?
Why don't you become a bearskin rug? Like you just
I'm glad we were really on the same page with that at like the same time.
You just sprawl out with your mouth open on the ground, and then your Aunt Mary is like, is he going to go back to that facility? Is he going to get the help? And you're like, I'm just trying to win, Auntie. But
have you thought about like hiding in the bathroom and then locking the door and they can't find you?
Hey, you know what I used to do when I played a lot of hide and seek is I didn't play. I started to play, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll find you guys, or like, yeah, I'm going to hide. and then I would just go do some other shit, which for kids, I think that can work. But hide and seek and manhunt were two of the worst games for fat kids. Because in
Manhunt was worse because you had to then run. It was like the tag aspect that was also terrible.
Manhunt's ruthless because that's when you find out who your real friends are.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would always know like who the shitty friends were if they always stuck with me during Manhunt. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Seth, like, let's hide together. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, we'll hide together. We're bros.
That way they could just ditch you as soon
and
as
then
they
as
got
soon
caught.
as the footsteps got loud, they'd be like, I knew this was a good idea. And then they would take off. And then here I am.
Maybe honestly, let's bring that back.
Maybe we'll bring
Guys, let's make this a thing.
Okay, folks, in Fall River, Massachusetts,
Hide
when
and seek.
COVID is over, we're gonna do a community hide and seek game, and we're gonna see if we get seriously injured.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. Why not? I mean, they have laser tag. I mean, that's just like cool tag. Like, why don't they make like cool hide and seek? Like, I feel like it's a really. I mean, is that like an escape room kind of?
No,
No.
not even close. But I'm trying. I mean, folks, if you have any insight to good hide and seek spots as a big person,
Or how to make hide and seek an adult game.
right? Like, let's focus. We have two goals at hand this holiday season. It's to make hide and seek cool again, and also spots for big people, because I can't transmorph. So the closest that you're getting to is becoming your Christmas tree or becoming a bearskin rug, and that's just not going to look good.
Or have you thought about hiding in a walk-in closet and like putting a coat hanger in your shirt so that you look like you're just, you know,
I like
you
that.
blend right in.
Or you go smoke a cigarette in your car. You could do that.
I don't think that would be very helpful for like his little cousins.
Yeah, it would not be. Secondhand smoke kills. Don't do that.
And so does firsthand.
Oh, it does. Man, they never taught that. No.
What about third hand though?
What about third hand? We don't talk about that enough.
We don't, do we?
Regardless, that's a little surprise. Hey, big guys, for the heavy holidays. So thank you, hide and sleek. We really, really appreciate that. But I mean, we'll wrap up the holiday.
I just got hide.
Oh, you just got that?
It's been a long week, Seth. It's been a long week.
It's 5:15 when we're recording this.
On a
It's pitch
Monday.
black outside.
It's 5:15 on Monday. It's been a long week.
We're so appreciative of like people who stick with us and listen to us that we can kind of go off a little bit like this. But you know what? Let's finish it off. I do want to finish it off with something we haven't done. I'm not joking. We haven't done this since maybe like episode 6 or 7.
Because I think we almost ran out of ideas.
I think we did, but it's time to go back to a special heavy holidays edition of Lifestyles in the Big and Famous.
Because we got a really big guy who's pretty big and pretty famous, and I don't know, perhaps the most universally loved fat man in history.
He very well could be.
Of course, we're talking about Seth.
Yeah. You dumb piece of shit.
I'm kidding. We're talking about good old Saint Nick, Santa Claus, Kris Kringle.
Oh, that sucked eggs. Oh, that was so good. Oh, you dumb piece of shit. Big asshole. Yeah, no, we're talking about Santa Claus, folks. I honestly, I need to like gather my thoughts right now.
You want to recover for a second?
Yeah, just for a second. We're talking about Santa Claus, folks, and we can talk about me for a little bit, but I mean, growing up with red hair, that was a nice form of Hollywood representation for me to see like young Kris Kringle, like before he like grows up into Santa Claus. You know what I mean? You've never seen any of those?
Yeah, I've never seen any young Santa. Is this like a young Sheldon prequel kind of thing?
Well, it was in like a lot of those like holiday claymation movies where like you would see like young Kris Kringle and he would have like the red hair and the beard a little bit. And I really enjoyed that because as a young kid with red hair, all you do is get shit kicked in your face. So it was nice to see a little bit of representation.
Hey, Seth, did you ever watch the Ginger episode of South Park?
Yeah, no, and it ruined my life. That it really did. And so at least I like had Santa Claus to kind of be like, well, he had red hair at one point.
And he's fat.
Right, exactly. So I was like, it's kind of
I'm
a double.
basically Santa Claus.
That's kind of the thing, though. How is he fat? How is Santa a fat guy? Like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I get the lore of like he's jolly, like he's a big jolly man. But a dude who works that hard and then flies
to-
around the entire world. That should not be a fat guy.
I mean, to be fair, it's the reindeer who are doing all the work. He's just sitting in his freaking sled.
Okay,
what is he doing? He's waving his arms up and down.
Okay, you try getting down all those chimneys, delivering the gifts, getting back. Is it the cookies?
Seth, that's easy if you have magic on your side.
Okay, but I still think, man, like the dude works pretty hard.
Look, I don't want to slam him because we're celebrating him right now. But let's just say the reindeer and the elves are the real heroes there. They're the hard workers. He's the face of the operation.
It's got to be the cookies. Like, that's the only reason why I can see this dude staying fat. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, how many milk and cookies did your parents leave out for Santa Claus?
So I think that we probably left out maybe 5 or 6.
Okay.
And then my parents were good about it, though. They would, before they'd go to bed, they would take bites out of a few of them. They'd never really finish a whole one, though, which is kind of a dick move on Santa's part. Like, you don't bite 4 different cookies, my dude. You eat a few and then you leave some for the rest, and then I get leftover cookies in the morn. You know?
All right. Are you ready for this?
Okay, give me something.
So I'm trying to do the quick math here of like how many calories will Santa eat if he has 5 or 6 cookies at every house that he visits,
Okay.
right? So I'm just trying to find here, like, what would be the number of houses? Do we have like an estimate of how many houses Santa has to hit? I guess there's like, okay, this website says 1.6 billion children worldwide are set to be visited by Santa this year.
Okay.
Which 1.6 billion, I don't know, maybe that's like siblings are included there, like
Yeah,
same
maybe.
household, but
Yeah,
let's just call it a cool 1 billion. Right, 1 billion.
1 billion, yeah, 1 billion households. Yeah, okay.
So 1 billion households times about 5 or 6 cookies. So let's call that 5.5 billion cookies.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
How many calories are in your standard chocolate chip cookie?
I would have to imagine probably 150, 200.
Okay, so let's call that 175.
Okay.
Just a nice little average right there. So Santa, assuming there's no milk, like in which let's be honest.
Let's be honest, there's always going to be some milk.
Gonna be milk.
Okay.
262 billion 500 million calories.
Good. How is this guy not dead?
And then we divide that by 365 to see what would that break out per day. That would be a
number that does not make any sense.
719.2 million calories per day. So you ask, how is Santa this fat?
I asked
He eats all of those cookies on Christmas,
asked and answered.
and a year later, he still hasn't burned anything near that off.
Literally, and then he actually sits in a hot tub of insulin. Like, when he gets back, it's like going to the sauna, and he's like, oh, Miss Kringle, just get me my hot press.
Calling all parents, please stop giving Santa
Stop
cookies.
giving
He
him
has
Santas.
enough cookies. If everybody could just, you know what? Let's. I hesitate to say this because it just feels dirty saying it.
Yeah,
get him celery.
Get him celery, because the dude's obviously made of dark matter. He's really actually like 1 billion pounds. The reindeers need to unionize, like, for pulling that dude around. All
Seriously, they are the hard workers there.
They are the hard workers there. You know what I mean? The reindeer,
They're carrying all the weight.
The reindeer union really needs to step it up. But
Maybe Santa has to apologize. Maybe he has to say, sorry for the wait, guys.
Hey-o, good plug.
Thank you.
But you know what? To celebrate the guy, we've dunked on him a little bit this segment. But truthfully, arguably the most celebrated fat guy in human history.
Can I give you a fun fact?
Outside of maybe Buddha. That's a tough
I'll
one.
I'll give you an even funner fact. Buddha wasn't fat.
Okay, then that wasn't even really.
Yeah.
Man, God, am I going to look dumb here, or am
No,
I not
I think
dumb
that's
for
a
thinking
very
that, right?
that's a very common like misconception because it's like the Chinese Buddha statues
Right.
like look fat, and that's like the most iconic representation. But I took a whole like history of Buddhism course in college, so I could really go deep into the life of Siddhartha Gautama, but I'm not going to.
Okay,
here.
so then Santa does win that clear cut.
Santa
he
wins
is
it.
Universally the most loved fat dude out there.
And
then Danny DeVito's like a close second. Like he's a
close
He's a
second.
close second, dude. Like he's
I mean,
right
he's
there.
the penguin.
Yeah, come on now. But
fun fact about Santa Claus, really more of a fun fact about Saint Nick.
yeah, give me it.
Do you know what he was the saint of?
This is tough. I don't.
So he was the protector of children, which makes sense,
Love that.
and sailors,
Interesting.
right?
Huh.
I can't even give you a reason why. That's just what it is.
Okay.
I was looking up a little bit of like Saint Nick history
That
to kind of
is
figure out
interesting.
like where did this come from?
Right. Protector of children, I get. And like that feeds into the lore. Sailors, though.
Do you want to know where the whole image of like Fat Santa came from?
Yes, I need that.
That was actually the 1822 poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and all through the house.
Wow. So
Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse."
So really, this author just wrote that poem and was like, yeah, I think he's a pretty fat guy.
And yeah, that's
and then
where
the whole world was like, yeah, we're with this guy.
The jolly old elf, like, is what they called him. And that was kind of like the image that he took on. And that was like, you got to think about it. This is the 1820s, right? Like this poem about like Christmas, this was probably like the equivalent of like a viral TikTok.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, basically that was the biggest thing since Hoop and Stick.
Right.
You know?
So like it makes sense. And it kind of hit like right before like, you know, that gets a little bit of staying power. And then like the Sears catalog comes out or something. And like now people are like, oh, like let's turn Christmas into a holiday where we buy stuff. And then,
exactly.
You know,
and then it's
Santa.
A commentary on capitalism. Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree with that. But you know what, folks? We are celebrating Saint Nick.
We are.
You know, we are. And a shout out to all those who liked our TikTok of me being Yukon Cornelius from the claymation movies. We're going to give Yukon Cornelius some love, the greatest prospector in the world.
It's funny you say that because I wore that. That was my hat.
Yeah, it was your hat.
I wore that hat to work last year, and the secretary at my school called me Yukon Cornelius, and I had no idea what that reference was, but I just kind of like, smiled and laughed, and then she kept calling me Yukon for the rest of the school year, and I was like, well, I can't really ask now.
Yeah, you're too
far
deep
into it. And then you made that TikTok, and I was like, what is Yukon Cornelius? As if I couldn't have Googled it for the past 365 days. But then I found out, oh, it was like a Rudolph thing.
Yeah, it's a delayed release, man. That's what it is. But honestly, lifestyles of the being favors. Honestly, maybe we do need to start going back to that well a little bit. I had a lot of fun with this.
I think we need more fat celebrities.
I think we do. So, yes,
if any famous people are out there, start putting on some weight.
Well, yeah. Honestly, the genesis of this podcast is just to lead up to the day that we get Lizzo on the show.
Seriously.
I'm not joking. It really is.
We're saving her for when she's on.
Yeah, exactly. Like we will.
If anybody out there knows Lizzo, send her our number.
Yeah, just start tagging her in every one of our posts and we'll really appreciate it. But we are going to head into closing thoughts on Heavy Holidays. And honestly, hey, Heavy Holidays to you. I'm very thankful for you.
Happy holidays.
I'm honestly, I know it's a weird time and it's a weird holiday season, but if there's anyone that I was going to spend the holidays with, you know it'd be you.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, to be able to sit here on the ones and twos and do this and to give you guys a holiday episode just before Christmas Eve if you're celebrating, we just want to say how thankful we are for all of you.
Absolutely. And obviously the same thing goes for you, Seth. I will say this is a particularly heavy holiday for quite a lot of people, you know, just because of everything that's going on. And you know, all I'll say is, you know, just stick through it. We're almost out the other side. I have to believe.
Yeah, we gotta believe in something.
And you know what? As shitty as this Christmas is, imagine how great next Christmas will be if we're all able to just kind of have a. I know the bar is so low here, but if we could have a normal Christmas,
I know what
you're
saying.
Like, wouldn't that be great? And wouldn't it be great if we could share it with all of the people we love because we didn't get to share it with them this year.
Right. And once COVID's over, Mask Off is going to be the #1 song in the country, and we're going to finally realize why, like, the rapper's name is Future. Like,
that was a good one. Have you been holding on to that for a while?
No, I haven't. Don't worry. It's a tweet. I took it.
I was going to say, that was smooth.
Give credit where it's due. I wanted to try and fit it in organically.
Is it bad that I'm starting to actually like wearing masks?
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's almost just like second nature. But regardless, folks.
I think it just keeps my face warm during the winter.
If you want
Super scarf.
If you want to submit to us, please write us an email, SFTWSubmissions@gmail.com.
And make sure to like and subscribe on all of the social media posts and then tag Lizzo in everything that you see.
Everything that you see. And then leave us a voicemail, 774-855-9433.
And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts.
163, baby. We're getting up there one at a time, baby.
We're almost to 164.
We're almost to 164. And you know what? We're just going to keep climbing. But you know what, folks? Until next time, I'm Seth.
And I'm Strawberry.
And remember, keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer. But keep your snacks the closest.